Hello, I'm going to show you how to use watermarks to restrict the display on C++ Memory Validator. First of all, we need some data to work with, so I'm going to relaunch the example application by clicking the relaunch icon. Pretty soon the example application is running. We're going to load a DLL and place a watermark before and after the DLL load, and then use the watermarks to manipulate the display to show you only the data allocated during the DLL load. So first of all, we need to create a watermark before DLLLoad. Now, the DLLs we're going to load are these DLLs over here. DLL A dependent on B, DLL B dependent on C, DLL C. Now, these are in the installation directory where you installed Memory Validator. So in this case, they're in C, Program Files, Software Verification, Memory Validator. These DLLs are supplied as source and project files. If you build the project, the DLL will be automatically copied into the correct folder for you to use with the example application. I've already pre-built these DLLs, so I'm just going to load the DLLs now by choosing Load Dependent DLLs. Dismiss that default dialog. Now place the second watermark after the DLL load, so AfterTheDllLoad. I'm going to refresh the display. And we can see there's been lots of data allocated. The application's still running at this point. And you can see the first watermark and the second watermark. And you can also see this data here that was allocated between the watermarks, so as the DLL loaded. Now, this is on the main display with everything else. So, okay, the watermarks are an aid, you can see them, but that's not exactly their purpose. What you can do is, using these combo controls, and these are on many of the displays like objects, sizes, hotspots, analysis, you can select arrange to display. So I'm going to choose the first watermark as before DLL load and the last watermark as after DLL load, refresh the display, and now we can just see the data that was allocated between the two watermarks. So in this case, allocated whilst the DLLs were loading. If we don't want to do that, let's say we wanted to just know what's happening up until the DLL was loaded, choose the first watermark as first watermark and the last watermark as before DLL load, and choose refresh. And now we can see everything up until the DLL was loaded. If I do something else with the example application, so like display the about box, which I know leaks memory, now if I change the last watermark to be the very last watermark and the first watermark to be after DLL load, we'll see everything that happened after we loaded the DLL. So that should show as the memory leaks. If I click refresh, there we go. I just expand these a bit. You can see, there we go, onAppAbout. So that's the proof that it happened when I displayed the about box. So there you have it. A very powerful way to manipulate the display of Memory Validator using watermarks. Thank you very much.